Yo, what is good YouTube? Matty Dubs here, back with another video, guys. We have some more breaking news, notes, highlights, and observations from another day here in Chicago for Bears training camp. But in this video, I primarily want to talk about a couple of position battles that are going on right now in camp, and some of the guys I think could potentially come out on top and be starters for this team going into next season. However, before we get into the video, do me a favor, guys, and smash that like button just so we can get this video to, more Chicago Bears fans around the world. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new, because I will be covering the entirety of the NFL offseason, which includes all of free agency, trades, training camp, preseason, regular season, as well as I will be live streaming Bears games throughout the season. So if you want to watch some Bears games with me this year, make sure you guys join the family. But without any further ado, let's jump into today's video. Now, one of the major question marks of this team right now is the running back position. Now, we all know that they could take this by a committee, and it could be D'Onta Foreman, it could be Khalil Herbert, could be Roschon Johnson, and that's what I primarily think it is going to be. But in terms of the leading rusher, the number one guy to get at least most of the carries, I think it's going to be Khalil Herbert. When he was, playing last season, the man looked absolutely phenomenal, and at times he looked like he was the best running back on the roster for most of the season. Now, D'Onta Foreman is a guy coming over here from Carolina, and he was an absolute dog last year. I mean, the man really knows how to run the football, and that's why I primarily think that he's going to be mixed in a lot with this offense going forward, as well as Khalil Herbert. I think Roschon Johnson could get, some burn here and there, but I think primarily what we're going to see is a lot of Khalil Herbert. And even on this play, you see Darnell Mooney lined up in the backfield, which is very interesting and intrigues me a ton because, I have Darnell Mooney in Dynasty. I hope that they, get him utilized in a bunch of different ways, but out the backfield could be very deadly. I mean, when you look at the team's wide receivers right now, you got DJ Moore, you got Chase Claypool, Darnell Mooney, and now you have Tyler Scott. That's four weapons that they have offensively in terms of the wide receiver position. So I think they just want to, add more versatility by giving Darnell Mooney some reps at running back in the backfield as probably like a scat back, so I'm not going to get too many carries, but I do like how they are doing that. But Roschon Johnson has been the best blocker on the team so far, so in that aspect, I feel like he will touch the field every so often, but I think they have three really talented running backs here in Chicago, and I think they're going to utilize them a ton. I feel like Herbert has the speed, Foreman has the power, the elusiveness, and then Johnson has the run blocking ability. So we could see three running backs used a ton throughout the season, but I do think there's a chance that one of these guys really starts to break out. I don't know who it's going to be. If I had to bet on it, I would say Khalil Herbert. Now, another position of interest right now is the defensive end position. Now with Yannick Ngakoue here, I feel like he's going to step into the the DN1 role. Obviously, you have Travis Gibson, Rasheem Green fighting for the the starting jobs. Seems like they're going to be backups, and then DeMarcus Walker, Yannick Ngakoue are going to be your two edge rushers. That's what I would say, but he is new. He is getting acclimated here in Chicago, so I could see for the time being that they rotate in with the ones being Travis Gibson and Rasheem Green and Yannick Ngakoue. But I think Yannick Ngakoue is or was one of the best pass rushers left on the market. And honestly, I was surprised he was still there. The man had a really good season last year, so the fact that they got him this late in free agency is really incredible, and I think it's going to be a tremendous addition for their team going into next year. And now we have one of the other biggest question marks on this roster, the cornerback position. Now, it's not a bad question mark. It's actually a pretty good question mark. They have a bunch of young guys in terms of, Jalen Johnson and Tyreek Stevenson and Kyler Gordon and Terrell Smith. But the reason I bring up this position, because normally you'd probably just say, oh yeah, well, it's going to be Jalen Johnson, it's going to be Kyler Gordon, it's going to be Tyreek Stevenson. Well, that could be true. However, Terrell Smith, the 5th round pick, has been absolutely lighting up camp so far, and he's actually a guy I could see maybe even stealing some reps over Tyreek Stevenson early on. I mean, he's done it so far in camp, so I would not be surprised in a couple of weeks from now when we start the season, we see Terrell Smith and Tyreek Stevenson splitting reps at cornerback every now and then, and they maybe ride with the hot hand. I don't really know, but what I do know is they have 4 cornerbacks who have looked good in camp so far, which is going to make the decision a little bit more tougher when it comes to setting the starting lineup. But like I said, this is a good problem to have. You have 2 guys who are really competing, really fighting hard for a starting job on this team, alongside Kyler Gordon, who looks very good, and then Jalen Johnson, who is one of the best cornerbacks, in the NFL. I mean, he's still so young, still developing, but he is so good. But Tyreek Stevenson at him, Tyreek Stevenson is going to be a monster. I believe he's out of Miami, right? Yeah, I think he's out of Miami. So I think he's going to be a dog. I think Terrell Smith is going to be a dog. But let me know in the comment section down below, in terms of those three positions, who do you guys think will be the main starters? Is it going to be Khalil Herbert, Dante Foreman, Yannick Ngakoue? It's going to be Tyreek Stevenson, Terrell Smith. But other than that, I feel like this team, the Chicago Bears team, is much improved. I mean, they have 4 good wide receivers. The offensive line is really starting to come together with Darnell Wright and Nate Davis coming over here in free agency. You got Cole Kmet and Robert Tonyan. They just signed Mercedes Lewis, who is a good, third tight end to have on the team. Obviously, Justin Fields looking to improve again. Khalil Herbert, and then the defense, has some work to do, but they brought in some really good guys in terms of T.J. Edwards, Tremaine Edmonds, Yannick Ngakoue. And you got that secondary. So I think this team is on pace to have a pretty good season. But if they can put it together and really build some chemistry with one another, I think this could be one of the most dangerous teams in the division next year. Guys, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. This video is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. And if you love playing fantasy sports like football, basketball, baseball, and so many other sports, but also love being able to win money, you're going to want to stick around for this whole segment. Introducing Underdog Fantasy, the ultimate platform for fantasy sports lovers. Do you want to experience the thrill of drafting your team and competing for huge prizes? Well, look no further. With Underdog Fantasy, you get access to a wide range of fantasy sports, including football, basketball, baseball, and so much more. But here's what makes Underdog Fantasy stand out from all of those other apps. They've got quick and user-friendly drafting process, a unique and exciting game formats, fair and competitive contests for all skill levels, and attractive bonuses and promotions. Not only can you draft teams and compete with others, but you can also play a game of higher and lower, which is personally my favorite thing to do on there, but you can potentially win 20 times the money you put down. And if you use code MattyDubs when you sign up, Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. And what that means is basically when you deposit, let's say $100, they'll give you a free $100 to use and play with. Click the link in the description to get started, or head to the website right now to start dominating the fantasy world. And don't miss out on all the fun. Be a part of the Underdog community starting now. And don't forget, if you use code MattyDubs, they'll match your first deposit up to $100. Let's get started. Get into drafts with me starting today.